Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. So, you're a real estate agent, a broker. Maybe you're running a team, and you're probably doing pretty well. You're closing deals, you're making money, but there's this nagging feeling, right? This feeling that you're just stuck. Like you're working all the time, but the business isn't really growing. You're just busier. You're spending what, like 10, 15, maybe even 20 hours a week on paperwork, on just, the administrative grind. And that's time you're not spending on selling, on actually making money.
It's the classic trap, Jenna. You get into real estate to sell, to build relationships, to, build an empire, but you end up becoming a professional paper pusher. And the worst part is, everyone just accepts it. They think, well, that's just the business model. But what if that model is fundamentally broken? What if it's designed to keep you small?
Exactly. So in this video, we're gonna pull back the curtain on the traditional real estate business model. We're gonna talk about why it's so hard to scale, why you feel like you're drowning in admin work, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. Because, there's a way to get back to doing what you love and actually build a business that grows without you having to work 80 hours a week.
Right. And the fundamental flaw is that the entire business model is built around you, the agent, the broker. You're the salesperson, the marketer, the administrator, the customer service rep. You're doing everything, and that's just not scalable. You can't clone yourself. I mean, we've seen the stats. Agents are spending, like 30% of their time on non-income producing tasks? That's insane. That's like working a day and a half every week for free.
And it's not just the time, it's the mental energy, right? Like you're trying to focus on a high-stakes negotiation, but in the back of your mind, you're worrying about whether the paperwork for that other deal got filed correctly, or whether you followed up with that lead from Tuesday, or whether the social media post went out. It's a recipe for burnout. I mean, we see it all the time. Agents hit a ceiling. They can't grow because they're just trapped in the day-to-day grind.
And here's the thing that nobody talks about. The average real estate transaction involves over 100 pages of paperwork. 100 pages for one deal. And if you're doing, 20 transactions a year, that's potentially 2,000 pages of documents you're managing. That's a full-time job on its own. And you're trying to do that while also prospecting, while also nurturing client relationships, while also running your marketing. It's just too much for one person.
And then you have the whole franchise model issue. You think you're buying into a system, a brand that's going to help you grow. But in reality, you're often just buying a set of limitations. We were just reading about why teams are leaving the big franchises. It's because those models are territorial. They're not built for the way agents work today. You want to expand into a new market? Well, you can't, because someone else owns that territory. It's an old world model that just doesn't fit anymore.
Exactly. And I think the thing that really gets me is the cost comparison. People think that hiring someone in-house is the answer. But an in-house hire, when you factor in salary, benefits, taxes, office space, training, you're looking at anywhere from $3,500 to $6,000 a month, minimum. And that's before you've even built any systems. You're still the one who has to train them, manage them, and figure out what they should be doing.
It's like you're paying for the privilege of being held back. And the crazy thing is, most agents don't even realize how much this is costing them. They're just so used to the chaos. They don't see that there's another way. That's why we always tell people to take that quiz on our site, the one at quiz.myprosulum.com, because it quantifies the pain. It shows you exactly how many hours and how much money you're losing every week to this broken model. And for most people, it's a real eye-opener.
But here's the thing. The solution isn't just, hiring a typical virtual assistant, because then you're just trading one problem for another. Now you have to manage someone, you have to train them, you have to create all the processes for them. It's just more work on your plate, and that's the last thing you need. And most VAs, they're good at executing tasks, but they're not good at building systems. So you end up with a helper, but not a solution.
Right. You're still the bottleneck. So what's the alternative? This is where, the idea of a virtual systems architect comes in. And this is really the core of what we do at Sulum. It's a complete mindset shift. Instead of just, delegating tasks, you're delegating the documentation of those tasks. And that's a huge difference.
Exactly. Think about it. You do a task, you record a quick 5-minute video of yourself doing it, and you hand it off. And what you get back is a perfect step-by-step SOP and a VSA who is now trained to do that task forever. That's the magic. The system gets built while the work is getting done. It's not this separate, massive project you have to take on. It just happens naturally. And over time, you end up with this library of documented processes that your business runs on.
And that's how you remove yourself as the bottleneck, because now the business isn't running on your knowledge, on what's in your head. It's running on a documented system that anyone can follow. And that's how you scale. That's how you go from being an agent to being an architect of your business. You're designing the systems, and the VSA is executing them. And if you want to check out a tool that can help you get started with this right now, you can go to instant.myprosop.com. It's a free SOP generator. You just describe a task, and it spits out a professional, step-by-step process in about 60 seconds.
And these aren't just any VAs. We have a 6-tier hiring process. Only 3 out of 100 applicants make it through. These are people who are wired for this kind of work. They love details, they love process, they love making sure nothing falls through the cracks. And that's why our client retention is 98% after a year? Because these VAs become absolutely critical to the businesses they work with. Nearly half of them end up rising to become leaders, managing other VAs and team members. They grow with you.
And the cost? It's significantly less than an in-house hire. We're talking roughly half the cost when you factor everything in. And you get someone who is not just doing tasks, but actively building the systems that make your business more valuable. It's really a no-brainer when you look at it that way.
And we see this across so many industries, but it's especially powerful in real estate. Think about it. Lead management. How many hot leads are just dying in your inbox because you don't have a system for follow-up? The data shows that the average agent takes over 15 hours to respond to a new lead. 15 hours. By that time, the lead has already talked to 3 other agents. A VASA can manage that entire process, from initial contact to appointment setting, making sure every single lead is nurtured within minutes, not hours.
Or transaction coordination. Like we said, over 100 pages of paperwork per deal. A VSA can manage all of that. They can coordinate with the lender, the title company, the other agent. They can make sure all the deadlines are met, all the documents are filed correctly. You just show up for the closing. That's it. And because they're documenting everything as they go, you end up with a transaction coordination system that any future hire can follow.
And marketing, creating listings, posting on social media, running email campaigns, managing your CRM, all of that stuff that you should be doing, but you just never have the time. A VSA can take all of that off your plate. And because they're documenting everything as they go, you're building this library of marketing assets and processes that you can use over and over again. Your brand becomes consistent, your follow-up becomes consistent, and your results become consistent.
It really comes down to this. You can either be the person who does the work, or you can be the person who owns the system that does the work. And if you want to scale, you have to be the owner of the system. There's just no other way. And that's what a Pro Sulum VSA allows you to do. They're not just an extra pair of hands, they're a partner in building a scalable business. And if you want to learn more about how to systemize your business from the ground up, we have a free 4-video course over at systemizeinfive.com. It's completely free, no credit card required. Just go check it out.
So let's bring this all together. The traditional real estate business model is a trap. It's designed to keep you busy, not to make you successful. It forces you to be the bottleneck in your own business, and it actively prevents you from scaling. And the more successful you get, the worse it gets because you have more deals, more clients, more admin work, and still the same 24 hours in a day.
But it doesn't have to be that way. By shifting your mindset from doing the work to designing the system, you can break free from that trap. And a Pro Sulum VSA is the bridge to get you there. They're the practical, affordable way to implement the systems you need to grow without having to do all the work yourself. They document your processes while they work, so you're building a more valuable, more scalable business every single day.
It's about getting back to what you do best: selling, building relationships, closing deals, and letting someone else handle the rest. It's about, finally having a business that serves you instead of the other way around. And I think that's what most people got into real estate for in the first place, right? The freedom, the flexibility, the ability to build something that's truly yours.
So, if any of this, hit a nerve, if you're feeling that pain of being overworked and stuck, you already know why. It's because you're living in that broken model. And you're probably wondering if there's a way out. And there is.
If you're ready to see what that looks like, to explore how a VSA could, completely transform your business and give you your time back, then I really encourage you to take the next step. Click the link in the description below and book a free discovery call with our team. There's no pressure. It's just a conversation to see if this is the right fit for you. We'll help you understand exactly how a VSA can solve the specific problems you're facing and what that could mean for your business and your life. No sales pitch, no pressure. Just a real conversation about whether this makes sense for where you are right now.
It's your chance to stop being a paper pusher and start being a business owner again. So go ahead and click the link. We'd love to chat with you.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.